What's up, guys?
So, episode 12
Episode 12.
of The Rec. This is also first episode in 11 episodes that we do on the two of us.
The two of us. Because the
So,
first episode,
Obviously, it's just us two.
it was just us two. And now we're back. We're back.
And we have another episode with just... So let me explain why we're doing an episode of just us two.
Yes.
We have a couple of reasons. Number one, today marks exactly 3 months that we have episodes coming out on the pod. Not 3 months of the podcast, it's a little bit longer, but 3 months of uploading episodes.
Consistent episodes.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's number one. Very cool. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Number two, because of the fact that we always have guests on, we were like, you know what? We want to do an episode just us two every now and then so that you guys can actually get to know us, get to know who the hosts of the pod are,
Yes.
get to know what we're about, what we like, what we don't like, who we are, our characteristic. Because, it's like, how are you going to watch a podcast when you don't know who the hosts are?
Yeah, so I think I could even explain that. Like, this is something I was even talking about to Ania. I was like, I feel like they don't really know us that well.
Yeah.
It's like, we did the first episode and they kind of knew who we were. We explained everything.
But now let's get to know a little bit deeper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now let's actually start
We got
building on that.
Of
course, we got to show up for the Rec fam.
We gotta expose ourselves to you.
A little bit. But yeah, and also, episode 12.
I was even talking about it.
Yes, Nick pointed this out. So, as you read from the title of the video, and we've probably been announcing it on social media this past week, because as you guys know, we always post about our episodes. Our 1 year anniversary was exactly a week ago from today, the day that we're recording. So, not a week from the day that you're watching this video, because fun fact about us, we record on Saturdays.
Yes.
So that's a little secret.
Yes.
By the way, y'all, go onto our Instagram lives. We do them every now and then where we expose some little sneak peeks.
Yes.
And you'll get to know stuff like this. But as of today, it's been 1 week since our 1 year anniversary. Woohoo!
Let's go.
Yay, I was waiting. I had a feeling Gabe was going to put it on. But anyways, so because it was our 1 year anniversary, Nick and I were like, yo, we should do like how we met, how we started dating, like tell our story.
So this was actually something we've planned out for a while.
Yeah, kind of since we started the podcast.
So when you guys are watching this, it's about a week and a half since our 1 year anniversary. And I was thinking about it. I was like, what better way to kind of introduce ourselves even more, to kind of tell us who we are, than to kind of explain our whole 1 year,
And also like what happened in that year. Oh, more than a year.
Exactly. And then I feel like that's the perfect way, I guess, or the perfect excuse for them to know who we are,
And then you guys get to know about our relationship. We get to expose some of our secrets.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fun. So let's go.
Let's
just dive into it.
Yes.
Boom, let's go. Alrighty. We're doing a fist bump?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
She missed the fist bump.
Are you going to cry about it?
Maybe.
I'm sorry. Okay, anyways, let's get started. So.
Alright, let's go.
How we met. That's number one.
Number one.
So we met as kids.
Yes.
I was like very young. We were like pre-elementary school kids.
I was preschool.
I think I was
preschool. I was kindergarten around there.
So we were really young when we met.
We grew up at the same church. So for those, for more context, we grew up at the same church. She had already been there for a while.
You joined before me.
I had joined there like right before.
I think we kind of joined the same time.
I think it was like around the same time that we had joined together.
It was a long time ago. We don't remember.
We knew of each other, but we never, I guess, spoke to each other. We knew of each other. We're like, oh, that's Nick. Oh, that's Ania. But we never really spoke to each other. I actually thought that she used to be kind of annoying back in the day because
I was 5 years old. Okay, I was like 4 or 5, and he said that I was too bossy and he didn't like me because of that. Yeah. Gabriel, stop nodding your head. My brother is agreeing with Nick right now. Anyways.
Oh man, those are the good times.
So Nick thought I was bossy. That's why he didn't.
I used to hang out with the cool kids back then.
Okay.
Shout out all the guys back then if they're even watching this. If you know, you know. If anyone's watching from that time, you know.
You know.
You know.
But who would have thought that we would have been dating?
Exactly.
Who would have thought? Should I post some pictures on Instagram?
Maybe.
All right. If you go onto the Instagram, if you're watching this the day it got posted, if you go onto the Instagram right now on our stories, I'll be posting pictures of when we we're first together. Yeah.
Oh man, you're about to see.
I have one specific picture.
Oh, I know which one.
And then I'm gonna post the one with Gabe in it.
Oh yeah,
I have two pictures that I'll post. I got you, y'all.
Well, now they're gonna know who Gabe is. Oh, they already know who Gabe is.
They already know who Gabe is.
They already know who Gabe is.
Yeah, go on Instagram, y'all. But anyways, keep going.
But so, I was there for a while, and then I ended up leaving the church. two reasons, family reasons, we left the church, and we just didn't get to see each other like that no more. Yeah. So we faded. As if we weren't close.
Our parents knew each other and they were good friends, but we were never like.
Yeah, our parents were good friends, but we never clicked, I guess. So time goes on. I'm going to a lot of churches. I was a part of a church for a while. I congregated at a church for a while, for almost half my life. Very good church. It is where I met the boys. Shout out the boys if y'all are watching this. Yeah, they have been here already. Kevin,
we always talk about the boys.
Danny, Gabe, all of them. I love them. I grew up with them. They're my day ones pretty much. And that's there. And I grew up there, and it kind of built me to who I am today. And to some family reasons as well, I left that church as well.
And then he came back.
And I came back.
Because of me. No, I'm just kidding. It was not because of me.
Imagine it was.
No, it wasn't. You didn't even know me.
No, I didn't. Well, no, I did, but it's like, eh.
Yeah.
So at this point, I had already, it was like summer of 2021.
Yeah, so this is pretty.
So I was already coming back. I was visiting the church again, whatever. And then I actually became a member, congregated there, and I still am to this day.
I never left, so I've been there since the beginning.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I'm still congregating there.
Me too.
And that's where it all started. So it was around September that I started becoming officially a part of there and everything.
At this point, people started finding out that you're part of worship.
Yes.
That you play drums, you play the guitar.
Because some people stalked my Instagram. I wonder who.
I didn't know.
Some people apparently stalked
I'm admitting, I stalked your Instagram, but I didn't know this about you.
Apparently, some people knew that I had already played, knew that I did something. Me. I was like, how did people know this?
Because I think you told them.
I don't think I did.
Your dad might have told you.
I think it was because of the fact that I used to also kind of go back then to the church's youth during the pandemic when things were very slow. I went, so I went.
People kind of started to get to know you.
So I guess from there people
got to know
me.
Anyways, we found out he plays an instrument, and I was the worship leader at the time for the youth service, for the youth worship team.
Yes.
And we did not have a guitar player, and we desperately needed a guitar player. We had one pianist, a bassist, and a drummer, and then two singers. Yes, two singers. And so, small band, loved it. It was such a blessing. But we wanted something, we needed more instruments, to kind of fill the empty spots, to make it more natural. We needed the guitars. So, Nikki comes around, and we find out he plays guitar, so then he joins the team. And this is where we started. This is where you and I actually started.
Yes.
So, the day that Nick joined the worship team was on a Sunday morning. I had found out about you the week before because people from the person who was in charge of the worship. So I was the worship leader, but I wasn't the worship team leader.
I got you.
You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. I would just lead worship, but I wasn't in charge of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we all go up to Nick, and the worship team leader told me, listen, there's this guy, Nicholas. He plays drums. He's going to start joining. I knew it was you because I knew your name. And I was like, there's no other Nicholas. And you've been coming recently. I was like, it's definitely him. I got very excited.
Yeah.
We finally had a guitar. I was very excited. And then that Sunday morning, we went up to Nick. I was the only one from the team who actually knew who he was. So they were like, Ania, you come with us to go introduce yourselves to him. Hey, welcome to the team, whatever. So I go later because I was on the way to go talking to him. It was me and two other people. I got stopped because I had to talk. I said hi to some. I don't know. I saw someone. You get caught up in conversation.
I love this.
Anyway, so then the two people are talking to Nick. Hey, welcome. I'm whatever. Welcome to the team. And then I pull up and I'm like, hey, what's up? I remember you. You remember? I was like, oh yeah, I remember you from when we were kids. And then I was like, yo, can I get your number? Because wait, I know what that sounds like. I said, all right, let me get your number so I could put you in the team group chat. That was the only reason, I guarantee. But of course.
To this day, I still don't think that's true.
It was true. Okay, then how else was I going to put you in the group chat? I needed your number.
But that was your way to get my number,
my gosh.
Though.
It wasn't. Anywho.
I think it was. I think even Gabe agrees with me.
No,
right?
it wasn't. Oh my gosh. Okay, whatever. So then I was like, can I get your number to put you in the group chat? And at that point, the two other people who were with us, they went,
so
you can tell your
my point of view, it's kind of...
They were doing this behind me, so I didn't see.
It explains more of what she was talking about. So we were like face to face, and the other people that were kind of introducing me to the team, they were behind her. So when she was talking to me, like, hey, can I get your number and everything, I just looked behind her, and I'm just like, she's right here, and I'm looking like that, and literally they're like,
oh, know, making a face like, okay.
I was like,
putting little hearts up, and I was like,
so,
oh my gosh.
right when that happened, I was like, okay, she likes me.
I did not like him.
I was like, why would they be doing this unless she liked me?
Okay, dude, it's just because I literally brought out my phone. I said, please put in your phone number so I may put you in the group chat. And everyone was like, no, she likes him. They're going to, oh my God, they're going to start dating.
But no. The thing is, I think people also took it out of proportion because she was also being very nice.
I was just being nice. Very. As a worship leader, it was my job to introduce the new team member in a very nice way.
Very outgoing, too.
Yeah, it was my job. But if people were, obviously, they were just teasing, like making jokes.
I think people blew it out of proportion as well.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was like, oh, I think she likes him. But I was like, I think she's just being nice.
I didn't like him, dude.
Nice.
I just asked for his number because I needed to put him in the group chat.
You thought I was cute, though, right?
I did think you were cute.
Okay, see? So she did like him. Anyways, so moving on. You want to carry on? You could carry on.
So, yeah, so people started shipping us, and that's kind of how we started. Mm-hmm. And then, as we know, time went on. We got close because of the worship team. We were singing together, playing together. He was being part of the worship team. I was a worship leader, and because he was new, I took it upon myself, because I was a worship leader, to introduce him more to the group and get him like, okay, this is the group, like we're friends, like we're a family, like kind of to get him used to the group.
Yes.
To get us all back into that community, because he's new. It's hard.
And it's the right thing to do. Right.
Oh yeah. If you're a worship leader, dude, trust me, take it, do this. Like whenever you have people, like do as much as you can to form that communion. Exactly. So because our group was already formed and he was kind of not an outsider, but he was brand new.
No, I was literally like a fish out of water. I won't lie. It was compared to my old church, and it was a new system, new environment.
You were used to something else.
I was used to a different system. So now I'm going into a new system, a new environment, new equipment, new everything. So I'm just like, oh wow, this is like interesting, you know? But I was like, I'm always up for growth, you know? I always say this to her. I love to grow. If I see myself here, I want to be here. And then if I see myself here, I want to be here. So
just climbing up the
ladder.
So
for me, I actually saw it as a good thing that I was, I guess for like my worship career profile kind of or experience, it was very good for me. So I was like, yeah, let's do it for sure. And I really
actually but with the actual team, I wanted him to get to know everyone and be friends with everyone, and ask, because your worship team needs a bond.
Exactly.
That was what I was striving for.
Exactly.
And with that, me and Nick got very close.
Very close.
Way closer than I expected.
Yes.
Clearly. But in that time, I don't know, we just clicked. We just clicked. I don't know how to describe it. We just got along very well.
I know why. It was because during this time, again, I was a fish out of water.
He calls himself the rookie all the time.
Oh yeah, no, it's because I literally was. People be like, hey, you're not the rookie. I'm like, I am the rookie because I just joined, you know. Uh-huh. So during this time, I was like, again, a fish out of water, and I've always had my opinions, my thoughts, my perspectives on a lot of things, and I guess over there, like at that point, I was like, I don't know who I could really say this stuff to, you know? And then when I realized that she had the same perspective, that she had the same vision as I did, I was like, oh, this is nice.
And then we got really close because of that.
Because we had the same vision,
we had a lot of similarities, a lot of similar opinions.
And good ones, too.
We just got along very well.
Very well.
Extremely well. It was very easy for us to get along.
Yeah, and I think from there, that's when it definitely like...
Yeah, so this is when it skyrocketed. Oh, should we talk about the party? I wasn't going to plan on talking this, but I think it did. So we had a party for the youth. I'll keep this very brief. We had a party for the youth, and that was, I gave Nick a ride home that day.
Oh, yes.
And we got home very late because it was like it was a Christmas party.
It was a gala party.
Yeah, it was a Christmas party, but the theme was like gala, so it was very fancy. And then we ended up leaving super late because we were like helping to unset everything up at church and clean up. You know how it is. And so I gave Nick a ride home, and that was when we kind of were like, okay. Something's going on between us. Whatever.
Oh yeah, it was definitely.
I think that day felt very different compared to everything else. At this point, I already liked him. By the way, I had like a major crush on him, but I just didn't say anything.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
You knew it.
I just know.
Everyone knew it.
I'm just a guy that I know these.
I
just know these things.
Anyway, so then
moving on. We could probably head on.
Now is New Year's.
New Year's. We can now move into New Year's.
This is New Year's going into 2022. So, as we mentioned earlier, my parents and Nick's parents were friends.
Yes.
Still are to this day, tight friends. And so, Nick's parents were like, yo, let's invite Ani and her family over for New Year's. Because at my church, or our church, we usually have New Year's parties, but because of COVID, that year, the city shut everything down again.
Yeah, COVID was like spiking through.
So then we weren't allowed to do, we were going to do the New Year's party, but then because of COVID, the church wasn't allowed to do it again. So we were like, okay, let's just go to Nick's house.
Speaking of COVID, we are officially not in a pandemic.
That's true.
Anymore.
We officially are out of the pandemic. This is cause for celebration.
Yes, no more Corona time. No, it's done. We're done. COVID.
I forgot about that. That's so crazy.
God is good. Thank you, Jesus, that we're not in a pandemic anymore.
Crazy. Thank you, Lord.
That was such a, oh my God.
But yeah, COVID's over.
But yes.
But at that time, COVID was not over. COVID was spiking.
Yes.
But so Christmas party, a New Year's party was canceled, so we went to Nick's house. And my whole family went, and it was just us. My family, my parents, my brother, Nick's family, his parents, his brother. That's it. And it was awesome. It was so fun. We played bingo. I completely crushed him at bingo. Yeah, so did Eric. Eric is Nick's 8-year-old brother, and he crushed you at bingo. He did so good.
He did actually.
Yeah.
Respect Eric.
And we were just talking the whole night, and it was it was awesome. It was so fun. It was genuinely so much fun.
So the whole reason why it happened in the first place is because I was originally going to invite her over for Christmas. Because my family had gone to, I think they went to like Florida or something.
Yeah.
They went to Florida. And
so his aunt and uncle who were.
And that's usually the only family I get to spend time with on like Christmas or New Year's, but they were in Florida, so we didn't really have anyone to hang out with. But because I liked Ania and her family so much, I was like, you know what? Why not bring them over? We've done it before where we've brought like random families over for Christmas and
not random, like family.
Not random, like friends, you know. Yeah. And I was like, you know, I think she would be a good shout. But Christmas didn't work, however, because
people got sick, COVID. So then New Year's was when New Year's was when
things kind of died down. It was still spiking, but it died down a bit.
No, but none of us were sick. We were all.
None of us were sick. We were all good. And then, we had a sick time. I loved it. It was so fun. And definitely from there, I was like...
That's where it started. Yes. That's where we realized... Because that was also the first time we were not at church and actually talking to each other. Away from the
away
crowd.
from the crowd, just looking at us.
We were always at the worship team working and doing stuff. So this is when we actually got to sit down and talk.
Yes.
So after New Year's, that's when, number one, people started shipping us more because they knew that we had spent New Year's together. And two... That's when we started getting even closer. That's when I could say that you were like my best friend.
Yes.
Me
like
too. A really close friend at that point. So, February 13th. So this was from January all the way to February. We were just close friends. February 13th was a Sunday morning, and we were both playing. So we're also on the main worship team at our church, and Nick was scheduled to play drums, and I was back vocal, so I was scheduled to sing that day. After our service had ended, Nick calls me into the drum set. Because there's like a drum cage where we do worship. And he was like, hey, do you want to go out with my family to eat later today? And I was like, what? It was so out of the blue. I was freaking out. Obviously, it didn't work, unfortunately. Obviously, I said yes, but unfortunately, that day did not work. But that was the exact day that we started talking.
Yeah.
For a fact.
It was.
That was the exact day. Because after that, we were just texting nonstop. Literally nonstop. Like, y'all don't understand.
Like, during school, during everything.
We were texting 24/7. Literally everything we would do, we talked to each other about it. And that's when I guess we can say that we knew that we both liked each other. We didn't talk about it, but we both knew that we liked each other. And that's when it started growing more and more.
When it started growing, it's like, it just felt like I just had butterflies. No, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I had like butterflies. I know that's not a very manly thing to say, but
yes,
I don't care, man. I don't care. Like, I just
think it is.
had butterflies in my stomach. It was a very good time. And like, even like thinking about it right now,
it makes me so like happy.
It makes me happy.
It was a good era.
It was such a good time. It was a very, very good time.
We helped each other through a lot in that time.
I could definitely say that during that time we were going through a lot. Both of us personally, we were going through a lot. And we definitely like helped each other a lot. So that was also what I guess what made us grow even more was the fact that we were helping each other always.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's keep going.
March 27th.
This was the day. The
day.
So we just finished talking about February 13th, as you guys know. So then from February until March, we were in this, I wouldn't say it was weird at all, actually. We were just in this stage where we didn't tell each other how we felt. We both knew that we liked each other, but we kept texting consistently. We were always together at church. We were always hanging out.
I'd say for me, I was definitely just trying to read the room. I was trying to read the room.
Me too.
So it's like, we were talking a lot, but deep down I was like, are we a thing? Like,
I didn't know what we were.
Because during this time, it was when I had feelings for her. Like, I could say for sure I was having feelings for her. I was like, this is
this is real.
This is real. What I got going on here is real.
It's not like, oh, I think I like her.
And it was like,
at some point you did feel that way. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Like, I think I like her, but I was like, no, I do. literally everything perfect, right? And then this time was a very interesting time because this was a time where we were trying to, I guess, discover what we were.
Yeah, but we didn't tell each other that we were trying to discover what we were. So it was.
We would hug each other.
We would be like, hey. We were best friends. I think to the outside world and to each other, we were best friends. But on the inside, we knew that it was more than that.
It's always like that. It always starts off as best friends.
I like that though, dude. Start as friends.
Hey,
that was the best thing that we did.
Hey, guy or
girl,
gal.
What's up, gal?
If you have a boy best friend, or if you have a girl best friend,
dude, watch out.
Chances are
there's something deeper. I'm not saying
unless it's like I don't know, because some situations are different. But who knows?
Who knows? But
I know some people.
We started off like that. He was my boy best friend.
Yes, and she was my girl best friend.
Exactly.
But anyways,
so March 27th.
So yeah, this was during a time where we were very I guess lost. We didn't know what we were. And to the point that during service, we would literally go
we would sit next to each other and sometimes hold hands.
And hold hands. Literally like this. But we wouldn't do it.
But we weren't talking.
We wouldn't do it in front of people because
why would you?
Why would you? So we would literally do it like this. Remember? We would go like
sometimes
this.
Sometimes he would grab my arm and we would, I don't know if you're watching this or just listening, but if you're just listening, we would be linking arms sometimes during service. We weren't talking at this point. So I was like, Nick, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So the day that happened, I was like, okay. I looked at him and I was like, okay, are we finally going to talk about it? And he was like, okay, fine, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. She was the one that brought it up.
I did bring it up because I was tired of waiting. At this point, I was like, I need to know what we are because what if he doesn't like me? And then I'm just wasting my time and my feelings, you know?
She probably thought I was a player.
I did not think you were a player. But no, yeah, so he grabbed my arm this day during service, just lightly. It wasn't anything weird, just normal. And then I was like, okay, are we going to talk about it? He was like, okay, we'll talk about it. So then we did. I made him go first. Yes. I did not want to go first. I was like, I need to know what you think. Tell me. And I made him go first. Girls, don't settle. Trust me, don't settle. If you have goals, set them, set your expectations high. Don't settle. I literally didn't, yes. I did not settle for one thing.
Yeah, 100%.
I told him everything straight up what I wanted, and yeah. So women of God, know your worth. I'm gonna just say that. But so yeah, we talked about how we felt. So he told me, he was like, I like you and I want to date you, and I was like, oh my gosh, me too. So then we decided that we're not gonna start dating. Yeah. So we decided that we really loved where we were at, which is true. I loved where we were at.
It was like a honeymoon phase, kind of.
Yeah. It was weird. It was like
everything was going good.
Yes.
And we didn't want to rush anything. We didn't want to complicate things.
You know when people are like, oh, I don't want to date my best friend because what if it complicates a relationship? That's definitely what we did.
This is going to get deep a bit. But for me, the reason why I actually wanted to keep it the way it was because I was like, dude, I never found anyone like her in my life. Literally.
Am I going to get emotional?
Maybe. This will be the first time she cries.
That's true.
I was like,
I cry a lot, but not on the podcast.
I was really I don't think I'll ever find anyone like her. So if I have to take it very slow, I'm going to take it very slow because she's worth it. She's worth waiting for. She's worth waiting the time for and everything. Because I was like, I have to. It's not every day that you see a girl like this. And it definitely was not for me. It definitely wasn't for me. And wow, I might even get emotional. So I was very I'm gonna wait, no matter how long it takes. No matter how, her standards and everything were so high. I was like, I don't care, because I'll wait. And she was everything I prayed about, bro. Literally everything I prayed about. And yeah, and that's why I was so down to just wait. I was like, hey, if we gotta do 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, we gotta wait a whole year. I'll wait.
We ended up waiting 2 months.
Because it was worth it. It was definitely worth it.
Oh my gosh, that was so sweet. Oh, I love you so much.
I love you.
Thank you, Gabe.
Now everyone's watching us.
Get sappy. No, but yeah. So we did tell each other how we felt. We decided to take it slow, and we also made the decision that we were gonna keep our relationship very private.
Specifically, I would always say the specific phrase:
public but private. So people knew that we were dating. People did not know what's going on in our relationship. And to this day, I'd say it's still that way.
Oh, and I love that it's that way because from experience, when you tell people personal issues in your life, not everyone wants the best for you.
Yeah.
And this is just
I'd say most people do not.
I guess this is just living 101. Living 101. Don't tell, this is, I guess, an advice I'd tell you guys, for you guys watching. It's not everything that you need to tell everyone. Mm-hmm. there's a lot of things that are meant for us. Respect your privacy. We have privacy for a reason. There's certain things that shouldn't be shared to other people. There's certain things that are only shared between us. Certain things that are only shared between family. I know this is like common sense, but there's people who genuinely tell things to everyone. Yeah. And that's something I didn't like at all. And I always told her, I was like, listen, we're public, but we're private. People will see that we're dating. Obviously, you guys are seeing that we are a thing.
Yeah, but no one needs to know what's going on inside of our relationship.
No one needs to know because it's between us.
It's private.
And I guess during this time, some people may even raise their eyebrows and be like, why do they want to keep everything private? Are they doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing? No.
The thing is, you also need to understand too, our families are very kept into what's going on.
Exactly. And because I was always raised that way too. Me too. My family was like, you don't tell just everything to anyone.
But your family needs to know what's going on.
But your family needs to know. And it's honestly, it's us and our family that deserves to know these things.
Yeah, and that's how it's been since the beginning, and I love that.
For a year. For a year and a week and a half.
A year and a week and a half. No, but seriously, we decided to take it slow, and we were like, we're going to start praying to date.
Yes.
We aren't going to be just wasting our time talking. We're going to be praying to get into a relationship. Yes. So, a couple months passed. We started dating on May 20th.
May 20th.
So that was literally about the best day ever. That was literally about 2 months after March 27th. But for, I want to say like 2 weeks before we started dating, we decided to intentionally, we were praying and fasting throughout it, but for these weeks, we decided to intentionally pray and fast about my dad. Now, why my dad?
This is where you could take over.
Okay. So, I don't know about you, but I love my dad so much. But my dad is very strict, and I guess I was kind of afraid to start dating at that point because I was young. I still am young, but I was younger. So I didn't know how he would react, and I was just terrified. So my mom knew about it. My mom literally, she knew about everything. We even
so much so that we even went on our first date
because of my mom.
We went to Menlo.
Jersey Squad. So we went to the mall, and then because my mom, so my brother wanted to go out. Where I lived at that point, it was far from Menlo. So my mom was like, we're going to have to spend the whole day there because Gabe wants to go out with his friends. She was like, I'll take you with me. Do you want to take Nick? And I was like, huh? She was like, yeah, you can take Nick. You guys can hang out. And I was like, bet.
And we did.
That was our first date.
We
didn't even plan for it to be our first
date. We didn't.
No,
it just happened. Yes. But I was so excited.
So my mom knew about it. Nick's parents were in on it the whole time. I was terrified to tell my dad, don't do what I did. Don't wait as long as I did. Let them know what's going on. But I was terrified. And another thing that we had talked about too was when we start dating, you were going to ask my dad for permission.
Yes. Actually, it was what I wanted to.
And I wanted that too. So that was both of our things.
I wanted to because I was like, no, I want to, because one of the things I had prayed about specifically was like, listen, I want everyone on the same page. I even told her, if so much so as Gabe didn't like me.
Dude, if Eric didn't like me, it wouldn't.
Exactly.
Because it wasn't in agreement with our relationship.
It had to be everyone on the same page. Jinx said G deals. It had to be from God.
Yep.
Literally.
So that's what we prayed. And we were, our standards were not low. We said, God, we want it this way. If it's your will, let it be this way.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And always set your standards high, folks.
Dude,
don't set your standards low.
Don't settle for something low.
Low. No, exactly. Because in the future, it's going to bite you. And you're going to be like, why did I end up being with this person, And we're not married or anything, guys. So we're not saying
we're still dating. Like we're just dating.
Yeah. This is our experience as a Christian dating couple, as a Christian in the Christian dating phase, So, obviously we're not married or anything, not yet.
But Nick still had to ask my dad for permission to date me because hello, it's a big thing. Whatever. So we were praying and fasting for that specifically. I was terrified to tell my dad, so we were praying and fasting about it, and then I feel like God one day just told us, okay, it's now.
Now's the time.
There's no other way to describe it. We both that same day we were both had this huge feeling like it's now. And I know it was God because I talked to my dad. And I was sweating so much. I remember, Gabe remembers because Gabe was there. I called my mom and my dad to the kitchen. And I was like, I need to talk to you guys. And it was like 11 p.m. at night because I had been putting it off because I was so nervous. I was like, but I need to do it today. So I called him into the living room. This is a Sunday night. To the kitchen, excuse me. I called him to the kitchen. I was sweating. I had to change my t-shirt like 2 times or like once.
Did tell me
because I was sweating so much. And I was like, okay, Dad. I don't know if you know, but Nick and I have been getting closer, and I really like him, and we want to start dating soon. And my dad got emotional. I could not have asked for a better reaction. My dad got emotional. I don't see my dad cry. And he
I
was
don't think
so,
anyone sees her dad.
right?
I don't see my dad cry. Yeah.
And my dad was like, yes, of course I agree. Obviously he laid down some rules first, like, listen, like, this is how it's gonna be. Like, you're not just doing whatever you want. And I was like, Dad, I'm 100% in accordance. And then, yeah, it was a really sweet moment. My brother ended up joining later on, and everyone at the table, we all just got emotional. We were all very excited. We all just got very emotional. It was a very good time. And my dad approved. Least to say, my dad approved. And so I told Nick, and I was like, by the way, Dad, Nick wants to talk to you. And he was like, I like this guy even more now. So Nick and my dad talked like 2 or 3 days later.
Yes.
It kind of was the same thing. You guys both got emotional.
So I could talk about it. So I talked to him, and had to talk to the captain. I still to this day I call him Capitão. I had to talk to the captain of the ship, and be like, "May permission granted for
to take your daughter?"
To take your daughter. No, but for real though. I talked to him, and I also set standards to him, like not set standards, but I told him how it was for me.
Like, listen, I want our relationship to be this way,
Exactly, and he started asking me a lot of. I'm not gonna talk about obviously because it was a conversation. I feel like it was just for both of us in that moment. But it was such a good conversation. And honestly, I had prayed for the conversation to go exactly the way it went. It got emotional. We hugged and everything.
Aww.
And he even said, like, I see you as a son. And I was like,
I
was like, oh, man. That I couldn't have asked for a better.
It was
like
perfect.
It was perfect.
See,
it was
God is so good.
Perfect. And I think, well, I could probably add on to this later. But what I was going to say is that I think what made it so perfect was the fact that it all came in peace.
Yes.
It's like we didn't have to do it. Like, we didn't have to force things to happen because it was like God was literally paving the way for us. And I always see why.
I don't think I've ever gone through such a peaceful situation in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not being dramatic. Despite the fact that our lives are kind of crazy.
Yes. Chaotic.
Yes. At that point, because we had a lot going on, mine and your relationship to me was so peaceful.
Yeah.
The entire time. It was just peace. And then talking to my parents was in peace. Us starting to date. Oh, yeah. Then he asked me to be his girlfriend a couple days later.
Yes. May 20th.
May 20th. So that was the end of that story. I told him that I needed him to ask me, and he did in a very good way. I won't say how because it was very special. It
was a moment between
It was a very good moment. But, so yeah. So, dude, I'm not kidding. Trust God's timing. We say this a lot. The biggest thing that we learned throughout that whole story was that God's timing is perfect.
I think that's one of the things we learned the most.
Yes. Because if we had started dating March 27th when we talked about it, we would not be here right now.
Exactly.
I know
something
that
could have happened. Something could have happened.
Fact. We
would have rushed it possibly. And I think those 2 months that we waited, if anything,
it was kind of like a good 4 months.
Are you talking about March 27th?
Oh, no, March 27th.
I was talking about March 27th.
Oh, yeah, 2 months. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Actually, it isn't really necessarily 2 months. It was like almost 2 months.
Yeah.
But that time that we waited and we were just praying and fasting, praying and fasting, praying and fasting. If anything, it showed, like,
we're not just doing this for funsies.
Exactly. And this was one of the first times in my life. Well, not one of the first times in my life, but it was when I took it so serious. I was like, God, I'm tired of doing my will. I'm tired of... Because I had a phase. That's all I'm going to say. I'll explain it if
we're going to talk about your testimony.
About a testimony video one day, which should be coming out soon, hopefully. Who knows?
Who knows? Keep posting. Stay tuned.
Let us know if you guys want a testimony video. Yeah, and I had a very lost phase where I just wanted to do my things my way. Didn't care about the world, didn't care about God, didn't care about anything else. And then it came to a point where I was like, God, I want to do your will, not mine. And I took it very extreme.
You did.
When it came to dating Ania, because I was like, this is so big that I got going on here that I don't want to ruin it over something that I did, over something that I, like, that wasn't a part of God's plan because of me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, God, I need you to take the wheel here. I need you to, like, let your will be done throughout all of this. If it doesn't happen,
then it's because it wasn't.
Then it's because it wasn't his plan.
And we talked about it too. We said, listen, if my dad doesn't agree, it's over.
Yeah, and I said it too. I was like, listen, if it doesn't agree,
it's over. Nice to meet you. Nice meeting you.
you.
No, I'm not. We needed to sit down and have that conversation. Yeah. Saying, listen, if this is not God's will, goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah.
We're not gonna do this. thankfully it was God's will. Very happy. Thank you, Jesus.
Very, very happy.
But we talked about that. We said it. We were like, we will actually stop.
Yeah.
And we would have done it. I know for a fact.
We would have. And I think that's one of the advices that we could give to the youth.
Yeah.
About if you're maybe looking for a particular partner yourself, I'd say this, man. You could give yours, but I'm gonna give mine specifically to the guys. Guys, do not rush things. I know as men, we like to rush things. We want things now. We want everyone, and we get excited. I got excited too, but sometimes I think about it like, dude, if I got so excited to the point that, or if I didn't control my excitement on March 27th, and I was like, let's date right now, we probably wouldn't have been here today.
Or even earlier.
Or even
we could have talked about it earlier. We took a while to talk about it.
Exactly. Girls, I've noticed that women, they can actually wait a bit. But men were so much more like, we want it now, we want it now, we want it now.
Yeah, I kind of agree, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I feel like some people might not agree with me, but let's just think about it. Women, we like to observe, you know? And so I think I wanted to like kind of scout out what's going on first before I actually was like, okay, let's start dating.
Us men, it's like we're already seeing over there, you know, like we're already seeing.
Especially Christian women too. It's like, oh my gosh, just you look at a guy lifting up chairs, putting the chairs away, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can see him with like my kids and if you know, you know. Yeah. But like, no, I'm serious. Take it slow.
Take it slow,
and
guys.
also, I guess my advice would be prayer and fasting.
Prayer and.
I'm not gonna lie. I did not expect me to start dating so young. I did not. I thought I was gonna start dating someone in like my 20s. I am not in my 20s.
Me too.
And I think prayer and fasting. To be fair though, I honestly didn't expect our talking stage to last that short. I thought
it was actually kind of short for.
I thought it would be way longer.
But during that time, it felt like an eternity.
It did, low-key. But I thought that it would have gone on for longer. But then I just see the hand of God. Honestly, that's what I see.
It's like
see God's hand there.
It was like he was literally writing a new chapter in our lives. And we didn't even know it. And now we see, you know, the fruit of it, you know, the podcast, everything, not just the podcast. A
lot of other things too.
But a lot of other things, like how healthy our relationship has been. Another thing too, I think one of the things I love so much about our relationship is, you know, we actually communicate with each other.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Biggest advice you will ever receive. And I know everyone says this, communicate, y'all.
Communication
Talk about it.
is key.
I cannot tell you how many times we've been up at night. Like, we don't fight. I can say that for a fact. We don't actually fight, but we have gotten into
disagreements. Little scuffles here and there, yeah.
We will stay up talking about it until it's fixed.
And we will fix
it. Sometimes there have been times where we just like sleep on it.
Yeah.
And then we fix it the next day. It's not saying it's ever been something huge, like a huge.
Oh, like.
But communicate.
It's normal. We're human. We have disagreements.
It's never gonna be sunshine and rainbows.
Like I like to say.
Or sunflowers and
butterflies.
Butterflies and rainbows. That's what Nick says. But just know that communication is key, and don't give up. If it's God's purpose, put it in prayer. God is gonna give it to you.
Amen.
If it's God's will, everything will work out as long as you work for it. You know. Amen. And I know that for us.
And listen, if you're someone who really wants to be in a relationship like that, listen. I think one of the things I would also say too is, fall in love with Jesus first.
Bingo.
Fall in love with Jesus first.
You can't fall in love with someone unless you fall in love with Jesus.
Exactly.
Because we only started dating after we both were like, let's focus on my relationship with God. And then boom, he put us together.
And that's what, like, again, during that time where I was like so desviado, where I was like literally losing my control out of everything I was doing. I was like, God, I'm done about me. Now it's about you. Everything I do, I'm going to dedicate it to you. You take control of my life here. So after that happened, I would definitely say that my relationship with God definitely got stronger. And because of that, I started seeing the fruit of everything that happened. And so much so that, you know, I would say also one of the very first times, because Ania knows this, I'm a very impatient person. But for one of the very first times,
he was very patient.
I was so patient. But why?
I feel like you were more patient than me.
No, yeah, but why? It's because I was so close to God. And I was so like, I had
focused
that
on him.
Focused on him. And I remember I sometimes talk about this to Ania. I was like, Ania, at that time, like during like the December era, I was so focused on God. I was so focused on my relationship with him that I was like, God, if you want her to be in my life, fine. If not, fine. I want to do what you want to do what you want in my life.
I was praying the same thing. I liked him, and I said, Lord, if he's gonna distract me from you, take him away.
Exactly. That's another thing too. If she's gonna distract me from you, take her away.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys watched. We talk about this movie so much. Jesus Revolution.
Jesus Revolution.
They're the main couple in the movie. I forgot their names. But in the main couple, they literally say like, if you're gonna take me away from Christ, we're done. I'm breaking up with you. Like it's turned into a joke in the movie, but it was so serious, and it was something that we said as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, that's it.
That's literally it. That's
kind
story of our lives right there.
Story of us summed up with a lot more to come.
So I hope this could explain exactly who we are. We also want to make more special videos like this. Let us know in the comments
what type of videos you guys want.
Yes. We should definitely get a Q&A going soon.
Yes. Okay. Comment down below if you all want. I'm not kidding. Please comment if you guys want a Q&A.
Please comment.
If you have any questions, you can DM us. You can comment on our YouTube video, Instagram.
Our DMs are open. Our messages are open.
You guys feel free to. If you ever need anything, feel free to DM us on Instagram. You can text us on TikTok.
Exactly.
Comments, anything you would like.
Facebook, anything. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And let us know if you guys want a Q&A. I will be posting a question box on Instagram in the near future.
Yes.
For a Q&A, potentially.
Possibly when this video is already out, we'll have a question box out there.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah,
but
that is us, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, that's kind of how we. Obviously, in the year that we've been dating, we didn't talk about anything that happened in the 1 year that we've been dating, which, that is another story. That'll take us like 5 hours to tell.
Probably when we release the testimony video, we can
talk about that. But yeah, I hope you guys really like this episode and learn more about us. You know, if you take anything from us, wait on God's timing.
Yes.
Pray, fast, and fall in love with Jesus first.
So say it again.
So be patient and wait in God's timing.
Yes.
It's always best. Prayer and fasting is the key to everything. And 4, fall in love with Jesus first and foremost. 4. Because prayer and fasting.
Yeah.
Fall in love with Jesus first, and He will guide you in the right direction.
Amen. And that is a perfect way to wrap up this episode. We love you guys so much.
Thank you for making the rec possible.
Yes. Without you guys, the rec would have been possible. Obviously, God's been good as well, but it's obviously because of you guys as well. They have been supporting this ministry. We thank you guys so much. And let us know again in the comments what potential future videos that you guys want us to do and make. And yeah,
that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Let's keep reconnecting the youth to Christ. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
I was looking for a thrill. Were you shooting for the kill? Or were you aiming